they're getting.
Yasser Arafat or no? The space shuttles are grounded, all of them, because of dangerous cracks. And an emergency summit meeting about the possibility of cancer in everyday food. We'll take a closer look at a report that has other countries concerned.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin in Washington tonight, where federal investigators believe, or they certainly hope, that with an arrest they made yesterday, they are closer to understanding the plot against the United States which led to the September attacks. ABC News has learned that the man they have detained lived with the hijackers. This exclusive report from ABC's Pierre Thomas.
At 6 a.m. yesterday, agents from the State Department and the FBI raided this Baltimore house looking for a Jordanian national, Razmi Al-Shanuk. He wasn't home. They waited. Shortly after 1 p.m., Al-Shanuk arrived and was taken into custody for overstaying his visa and possible visa fraud.
They told him you arrested because your visa expired.
That was it?
That was it.
According to Al-Shanuk's father, the interrogation began as soon as he was in custody. It soon became clear that investigators wanted to know about much more than a visa violation. They wanted to know if he had any association with the September hijackers.
They questioned him, where you was, where you been, with whom you living with before.
During an intensive interrogation, sources tell ABC News Al-Shanuk acknowledged that he had shared an apartment in Northern Virginia with two of the hijackers for 2 months last summer. The roommates have been identified as Nawaf Al-Hazmi and Hani Hanjour. The government says both men were on American Flight 77 when it crashed into the Pentagon. Hanjour is believed to have been the pilot.
Al-Shanuk's family insists that he had nothing to do with the September plots. But counterterrorism experts say even if that is the case, he still could be extremely valuable.
Even if the person is not directly involved, the close association over a long period of time could lead to all sorts of information, who their associates were, how they communicated, who they were in contact with overseas. It really could lead right into the heart of Al-Qaeda.
Sources say Al-Shanuk may have been in a position to know a lot more about the hijackers than anyone they've talked to so far. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
Other major news today is that the FBI may have a lead in the investigation into who sent the anthrax in the mail. The operative word is certainly may. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross is with us here. So, what do you think?
Well, Peter, today the FBI searched the apartment of a former government scientist. Now, they don't call him a suspect. They call him a person of interest.
Why the difference?
Well, they don't want to make the same mistake they made with Richard Jewell. So they're still looking at this man closely. He's under scrutiny, has been for several months.
And why?
Well, his name is Stephen Hatfill, and he is identified as a former scientist at Fort Detrick. This was a picture of him published in 1997 when he was demonstrating how terrorists could produce biological weapons in their home kitchen. He has denied to ABC News, we've talked to him several times, that he had anything to do at all with the anthrax attacks.
How serious do we think the government's taking this?
Well, the government's taking it very seriously. This search today at his apartment, which is right at the gates of Fort Detrick, where he used to work in the government's biologic weapons defense program, was the first thorough search of his apartment. They're looking closely for any clues. We're not sure for several days what they found.
But reaffirm he's a person of interest. Not a suspect, at least not publicly, and
not a suspect,
and certainly not taken into custody.
He was consenting to the search, he said, to clear his name.
Many thanks, Brian. Brian Ross, our chief investigative reporter. Now on to the President's Day. Mr. Bush declared parts of Arizona disaster zones today, making them eligible for federal funds, and then he flew there to meet the people fighting the fires and see the damage for himself, including the Rodeo Chedisky fire. It has grown to more than 350,000 acres now and has destroyed almost 400 homes. It is early in the fire season, as we've said before, but already firefighters have been pushed beyond their limits. ABC's Brian Rooney joins us with today's story. Brian?
Peter, a deep smoke has settled over the fire camp and a wind has just come up. This is the kind time of day when things tend to happen, and they did tell us that today could be a critical day here. Over the past 24 hours, fire crews have burned out brush and forest ahead of the main fire to deflate its intensity. The burnout itself was a major fire, 43,000 acres. But there's still danger that a hot plume may develop and throw embers over the burnout and a major road, once again bringing a serious threat to the town of Show Low.
If the fire does cross US 60, there will be a wall of fire
that could move east towards Sholo.
The temperature today is 94, humidity 9%. Perfect conditions for the fire to grow and threaten homes a half-mile away. This is what it looks like in one of the small towns west of here, overrun by fire late last week. Pictures taken by Phoenix firefighters show a street of houses burned to the ground.
Thank you very much for coming.
In his remarks to displaced families, some of whom may have lost their home and don't know it, President Bush touched on the hot-button issue for people who live in western forests.
We got a lot of work to do to make sure the Forest Service has got wise forest policy to maintain the forests so that they're healthy and viable and not become kindling boxes.
But any new forest policy might take as long as 10 years to make a difference. Today, firefighters are cutting bulldozer lines just outside town and setting backfires to stop a fire that's been 100 years in the making.
If we lose this, it's going to be pretty hard to stop it over on the other side of Highway 60 there.
Peter, that presidential declaration brings low-interest loans for business and for homeowners, and in some cases, some direct grants and aid. And one final note, the firefighter force is still growing. It may grow to 5,000 or 6,000 firefighters.
Many thanks, Brian. Brian Rooney in Arizona. After visiting the fires in Arizona, Mr. Bush went on to Western Canada today for a meeting of the leading 8 industrialized nations in the world. This summit meeting is likely to include a good deal of discussion about the Middle East. The president's peace plan, or latest peace plan for the Middle East, continues to make waves, particularly the idea that has been out there since yesterday that Palestinians must somehow get rid of Yasser Arafat before the United States would support an independent Palestinian state. The Secretary General of the United Nations today said that could backfire because he said if the Palestinian people were to replace Mr. Arafat, the U.S. might be even unhappier with his successor. First of all, ABC's Gillian Finley reporting from Jerusalem.
Today, Yasser Arafat had a simple message for President Bush. Only the Palestinian people can decide who will lead them. After 35 years of virtual one-man rule, there aren't many alternatives. The old guard, men of Mr. Arafat's generation, are tainted with the same charge of corruption. The newer, younger faces have other problems. After Mr. Arafat, the most popular Palestinian leader today is Marwan Barghouti. He's currently in an Israeli jail, accused of instigating terror. The others, security chiefs who have cracked down on Palestinian extremists, are now seen by many as having sold out to Israel, a charge that will haunt any potential successor.
Were Bush, or for that matter Sharon, to point to a specific Palestinian and say, here's the kind of person who should replace Arafat, that would likely be a kiss of death for that person.
The truth is, Mr. Arafat is less radical than many Palestinians today. The U.S. and Israel may talk about some moderate Jeffersonian Democrat emerging to replace him, but no one here seems to think there's a remote possibility of that happening. These days, the fastest growing political organization is Hamas.
Most Palestinians fear the anarchy. The fact that if he goes now, under the present conditions, that militias will control the street, that security forces will begin to fight among each other is a nightmare for the Palestinian people.
Which is not to say that Palestinians wouldn't welcome more democracy and less corruption. But there's also a well-established trend here. The more the U.S. and Israel try to marginalize Yasser Arafat, the more popular he becomes. Gillian Finley, ABC News, Jerusalem.
There's been some confusion since the president made his remarks about the Middle East yesterday regarding the future of Yasser Arafat. Earlier today, the Secretary of State, Colin Powell, made himself available for interviews, and we asked him about the confusion. Mr. Secretary, yesterday the president said Yasser Arafat must be replaced as the Palestinian leader before the U.S. will support a Palestinian state. White House officials said it did not matter if Mr. Arafat won free and fair elections. Today, you and your spokesman say the U.S. will respect whatever Palestinians decide in free elections, and you still acknowledge Mr. Arafat as a leader. Which is it?
Well, I don't think there's any inconsistency, at least not in the mind of those of us in the administration. First of all, the president has made it clear that he does support the creation of a Palestinian state. He wants to see that Palestinian state come into being as quickly as possible, and he believes that the way to get to that state as quickly as possible is for the Palestinian people to exercise their right to make another choice with respect to who their leaders might be.
Let me just seek some clarification, sir. Why do you think a White House official said no, Mr. Arafat, even in fair elections? And are you saying, sir, sir, that if Mr. Arafat wins free and fair elections, you will acknowledge him as the legitimate leader of the Palestinian people?
What I'm saying is let's have the free and fair elections and see what the Palestinian people say to us, and let's not prejudge the outcome of those elections. I don't know about the official you're citing, but let's have free and fair elections, and when we have the results of that election, clearly we'll make a judgment as to how to respond to that new government.
Thank you, sir. If you are at all confused about this, there is more of the interview with the Secretary of State at abcnews.com. There are two other items in the overseas briefing tonight. Soldiers in Tanzania are still removing bodies from the wreckage of a train collision that they believe killed close to 200 people and seriously injured almost 1,000. It happened when a passenger train's engine and then its brakes failed on a hill. When the crash occurred, the train was rolling backwards at more than 100 miles an hour into another one. In South Korea today, Germany defeated the home team in the semifinals of the World Cup. Germany won, South Korea nothing. South Korea would have been the first Asian country to make it to the finals of the World Cup. When we come back this evening, the space shuttles are grounded, tiny cracks that may be dangerous. International health officials hold an emergency meeting about food. We'll take a closer look at why they are so worried. And seafood. From Omaha Beach in Normandy, a fisherman wants to harvest shellfish. Veterans and their families call it desecration.
I realize everybody's got to make a living, but I believe there are places and times to do those things.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Nexium.
I am one of the many people.
We used to think they're frequent, persistent heartburn.
It's just plain old heartburn.
But if you've treated your heartburn, changed your diet, and the pain still comes back 2 or more days a week, it could be from acid reflux disease.
And over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Today, there's a purple pill called Nexium from the makers of Prilosec. For many people, 1 prescription Nexium a day means complete
24-hour.
day and night heartburn relief. And Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can tell if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and a free trial offer for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
Using the wrong waterproofer can cost you thousands. Don't be taken for a ride. Demand Thompson's Water Seal. It has the highest level of water protection, guaranteed. Powerful original, new advanced Thompson's Water Seal.
Celebrate, celebrate.
Ask your doctor if Celebrex is right for you.
Celebrate, celebrate.
You've seen it before. There's the eye roll, the heavy sigh, the blank stare, and the ever-popular eye roll with the heavy sigh. But don't let that stop you from talking to your kids about not smoking, because it's not about their reaction here. It's about their reaction here.
Hey, do you want a cigarette?
No, thanks.
Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen, even if they don't show it.
From bee stings to cuts and scrapes to summertime accidents, would you know what to do? Give us 3 days and we'll give you and your family real answers on Good Morning America.
The space agency has grounded all 4 space shuttles. Engineers have discovered cracks inside 2 of the shuttle's fuel lines and say that they may pose a danger to the engines. ABC's Lisa Stark joins us from Washington. She covers this beat. How extensive? How serious? What's the real problem?
Well, Peter, NASA's still trying to figure that out. What they know is that they have never seen cracks in this component of the shuttle. Metal liners inside fuel lines that are located here in the back of the shuttle. The lines carry supercooled fuel from the external tanks to the engines, and the cracks in the metal liners are small as 0.2 of an inch long. They have found these cracks so far in 2 of the shuttles, Atlantis and Discovery. They still have to look at the other 2. And the concern is that parts of the metal lining could actually crack off, cause perhaps an engine shutdown during the critical liftoff, perhaps some experts say even cause an explosion. So this could be very serious.
I need a fast answer. There are people in space. What happens if there's an emergency?
They have a Soyuz escape craft there. They can get out of the space station if they need to without the shuttle.
Thanks, Lisa. Lisa Stark in Washington. Now, in the national briefing tonight, the Coast Guard has awarded an $11 billion contract, its largest ever, to modernize its fleet and increase its ability to patrol the nation's coastline. Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman will build new ships and aircraft. U.S. and Dutch officials have signed an agreement to let American officials search shipping containers bound for the U.S. in Rotterdam, which is the world's largest port. U.S. agents will be looking for weapons of mass destruction. And Martha Stewart commented today for the first time since she became a figure in the Imclone insider trading investigation. During her regular CBS early show segment, Ms. Stewart said she is confident her name would be cleared, and she wished to focus on her salad. When we come back this evening, an emergency meeting of World Health officials alarmed about the link between foods cooked at very high temperatures and cancer. We'll take a closer look.
I take batting practice. I take infield practice. I take Viagra.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? Ask your doctor if a free sample is right for you and visit Viagra.com for more information.
Step up to the plate and make an appointment to see your doctor.
Mom takes Metamucil. I never will.
That's what you think.
I found a better way to take my fiber. New Benefiber. Unlike Metamucil, it won't get thick and gritty. It's taste-free, too. Mom can have her Metamucil.
That's what you think.
New Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
In 1935, Foxwood Farms started with 1 horse and a truck. The horse was a thoroughbred, the truck a Chevy Suburban. Today, they have a few more horses, but there's still only 1 truck, Chevy Suburban. With an available 8.1-liter Vortec engine, it's capable of towing up to 6 tons, making it the best Suburban yet. Chevy Suburban, like a rock.
I like to shop every day. 8 a.m. sharp, Sal's Fruit Market. Oh, he's got the best tomatoes in town. When I started chemo, my doctor said that I might become anemic, maybe feel weak. Well, I never expected to be too tired to make it Sal's. The day that he had to deliver my order was one of the saddest days of my life. Thank you, Sal. I asked my doctor about Procrit.
Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. If you're on chemotherapy and too tired to do the things you used to do, talk to your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. And more red blood cells can mean more strength.
Welcome back, Mrs. Mantini.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Buying fresh takes a little more energy, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Irresistible. Best Foods at its best.
Tomorrow, the pill and the link to cancer. New information about the safety of birth control pills. Tomorrow on ABC's World News Tonight.
In Geneva today, the World Health Organization held an emergency meeting about the health risks posed by a food cooked at extremely high temperatures. Swedish scientists reported this spring that starchy foods, including potato chips, French fries, and cereal, contain a chemical that may cause cancer. Today, the U.S. Center for the Science in the Public Interest said it has confirmed the Swedish study, and so we asked ABC's John McKenzie to take a closer look.
Never before has the World Health Organization assembled so many experts so quickly to evaluate food safety.
This is not just another food scare. This is an issue where we find a substance that could give cancer in foods in significant amounts
The alarms were triggered in April with the announcement that scientists in Sweden had tested more than 100 food items and discovered that fried, oven-baked, and deep-fried potato and cereal products may contain high levels of acrylamide. Acrylamide is a chemical used to make plastics and dyes and has caused cancer in animals.
It did come as a surprise because it's not been considered as a normal process that you would get acrylamide out of food.
Researchers say it's all about heat. The higher the cooking temperature, the greater the level of acrylamide. From bread to cereals to cookies and crackers and potato chips. Since the Swedish study, scientists in several other European countries have tested many of these same popular foods with similar results. But some American researchers say that we still don't know enough about acrylamide to start worrying. While acrylamide causes cancer in rats, there is no evidence it does the same in people.
We put all our reliance upon on a rat strain, trying to predict how we're going to respond. Sometimes they do predict it well, and many times they do not.
Some researchers point out that even if they prove acrylamide is a carcinogen or cancer-causing chemical in humans, they would still have to determine what level is dangerous.
It's going to take an awful lot of time and effort to tease out whether it has any carcinogenic effect on humans at the doses we're getting at all.
In the meantime, scientists at the World Health Organization meeting must decide whether they know enough about the risks to recommend changes in eating habits. But some researchers say that if you needed yet another reason to pass on the potato chips, now you've got it. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Just one other medical note this evening. A report in tomorrow's Journal of the American Medical Association says that nuts, leafy vegetables, and other foods high in antioxidants may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. The researchers say that antioxidant supplements do not seem to be as effective. Next on the broadcast, the new battle at Omaha Beach, the business plans, and the very angry veterans.
I don't smell him. I'm the only cat left. You know, that Misty always was a prima donna. Mr. Boots, always cuddling with the humans. What a sellout. What? It's all mine.
You'd never know there were 3 cats in here.
3?
This tidy cat really controls the odor.
Uh-oh. Formulated for multiple cats? Something stinks.
And it's not the litter box.
Tidy cats. Multiple strength.
For multiple cats.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to zinc.
Now, the same Caltrate that helps fight bone loss may help your colon, too. In a recent study, Caltrate helped reduce the risk of recurrence of colon polyps, a risk factor for colon cancer. The same Caltrate you take for your bones, now for colon health, too.
Important. Take exactly as directed, but first call around and compare drug prices. Avoid paying too much for your prescriptions. Generics may work as well as brand names. Tell your physician and pharmacist everything you're taking. Some medicines don't interact well. Remember, no matter what an ad says about a drug, it may not be right for you. AARP reminds you to check up on your prescriptions.
I've been playing this game since I was 7. I loved the smell of the grass, the feel of an old leather glove. Then my knees started acting up. The pain got worse, and so did my game. I thought my playing days were over. Nothing I tried worked long enough, till my doctor told me about Aleve. 2 Aleve can stop pain all day long. He said it'd take 8 Tylenol to do that. Now I can spend all day playing the game I love. Hey, I said I loved it. I didn't say I was good at it.
Aleve, all day strong, all day long.
This is the matchup we've been waiting for, the KG veteran versus the fast-rising newcomer.
I hear the way this rookie uses bill pay from Bank of America is really something.
Look at the way the veteran stuffs that envelope, John.
That is really old school.
Well, the rookie's in total control out there. He's deciding what bills he wants to pay and when.
Uh-oh. The money he's put aside to pay his bills is in one of his other accounts.
Hold on. He's transferring money from his savings into his checking account right from his desktop. What a strategy!
We've got ourselves a new champion.
Up next, we'll have the latest on a rescue helicopter crash on Mount Rainier. Plus,
the issue is he's not a bad kid. He made a stupid decision, and that's what happened.
2 young men sentenced for an illegal street race that killed an 11-year-old Corbett girl, and even the victim's family says the punishment is excessive. Next.
Finally from us this evening, harvesting mussels, as in those you can eat on the beaches of Normandy. There is no more famous World War II battlefield than the French beaches, where the D-Day invasion occurred, where thousands of Americans and other Allied troops died. Today, an enterprising French fisherman has an idea to make money there. And that's a problem. ABC's Bob Woodruff is at Omaha Beach.
On the western edge of this famous beach, a fisherman named Pascal Gilbert has a business idea. He wants to breed mussels here, to grow them less than a mile offshore on a web of metal cords hanging from 16 buoys. He plans to market them as Omaha mussels. Omaha Beach is where thousands of American troops were killed on D-Day. Hundreds of bodies were never recovered. The floating dock used to resupply the troops now rests on the bottom, and it's here that the mussel farm would be built. Many veterans cannot believe it.
This is the sand that my comrades and I walked upon.
Major Frank Towers landed at Omaha Beach.
It contains the blood of my comrades. This is sacred ground.
More than 9,000 U.S. soldiers are buried on the hill overlooking Omaha Beach. American visitors want to know why the fishermen had to choose this place.
My father served in the service in World War II, and I would like to see it keep sacred.
For 58 years, these waters have remained a place of pilgrimage free of commercialization. The fear now is if one business, even a small one, is allowed to operate here, many more could follow.
With fish stocks in decline, the French fishing industry is suffering. And Gilbert says this is the best possible place for his project because the D-Day wreckage provides perfect protection for his mussels. The mayor of the local village has received dozens of letters from angry American veterans, and now he's fighting to stop it.
I realize everybody's got to make a living, but I believe there are places and times to do those things, and I don't think this is a place. There's a lot, like I said, a lot of ocean, a lot of beach. He could do it someplace else.
Pascal Gilbert does not want to go somewhere else. The regional government here will make its decision next month. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Omaha Beach.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Tomorrow on the broadcast, the money trail. The struggling post office raises the price of stamps again, and the post office is finding some questionable ways to spend your money. Don't forget Nightline later this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Good night.
ABC Tonight. Behind every door, a real story.
Nobody in my family has ever gone to college.
Of new beginnings.
I was meant to be a doctor.
And medical miracles.
Everybody will be jumping for joy.
Houston Medical continues tonight on ABC.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, it's a scene remarkably familiar to Oregonians. A helicopter goes down while trying to rescue an injured climber, this time on Mount Rainier. Plus, 2 drivers paid the price for their role in a drag race that killed an 11-year-old girl. Why the victim's family says the punishment is too harsh. And why some say the failure of a plan to revitalize Vancouver is actually a victory for taxpayers.
Live at 6:30, K2 News, the new spirit of the Northwest.
Good evening, I'm Paul Lindman.
And I'm Kathy Marshall in tonight for Steve Dunn. First on 2, a rescue helicopter crashes on Mount Rainier late this afternoon while trying to help an injured climber.
This time, all 3 people on board escaped without injury. K2's Kevin Reese flew over the wreckage tonight and has the latest developments.
Yes, here at Mount Rainier, the rescue of this injured climber turned into something much more dangerous this afternoon. A helicopter did drop off 2 rescue climbers. They did reach the person who was originally injured in this. He was hit in the head by a falling rock. But then a second helicopter trip ended very abruptly. The Jet Ranger, with 3 people on board, crashed on the Carbon Glacier at the edge of the Liberty Ridge. You can see the rotors and tail sections snapped off on that helicopter, but As we can see from the pictures, it doesn't appear that it rolled at all down the mountain.